let's see, 10 years ago, I would have been 60 years old. I was really consciously looking for a pathway for myself. I grew up in a very methodical Methodist church. My grandmother was very rigid, and she kind of ruled. And probably by the time I was 10 years old, I knew that that was not the God that I was communing with. And that was one of the nice things that drew me here, was the covenant. It was the first time I had been invited to join a place where I could be me. And it was big enough for that. If we don't intentionally connect with the covenant, and we don't intentionally bring the covenant with us into this sanctuary or into our committee meetings or into a movie that we're watching with our friends, or, then I think that's the fairy dust that we're not applying. We lose the mystical piece of it, because it does work to intentionally bring yourself. When I walk into this sacred place, or when I'm with anyone else anywhere, which is a sacred place on this whole thing, it's not, I have to be aware that my story is not everyone's story. I have a special needs daughter who is 41. And it's taken me up until about the last 3 years to realize the most important thing I can do for her when she comes to me with an issue is to ask her what she wants to do. Before, I'd be going through 10 solutions and none of them would be what she wanted. And I think that is something that that's a practice that we can become involved with more here. The part of becoming adult spiritually is to listen better, ask more questions, and continue to be respectful and loving, even when you don't have the same inner understanding of it as the person that you're spending the time with. If I'm certain about something, I'm closing some doors to myself. If I'm open to the universe, open to people that are in my life, then I get a lot more opportunities to maybe take another step or create another step in the road. Coming into the sanctuary, it's like, 1-year-olds can play together, and it's parallel play. They'll watch each other, and then if they see something that they want to try, they'll try that. But I think in our sanctuary, oftentimes, we're doing parallel play, but we don't get to dialogue about, why is it important to you that we pass the peace in the sanctuary or not? And then what are your options if some of the time that happens, it's not meant to irritate you, it's meant to feed another part of the covenant. We don't have many places for that dialogue to happen where people can have an experience. We have a sermon that's extraordinarily good, or we have a guest speaker, we have a pianist that just takes you to another place. Then I think as a community, we need to have the time to be able to tell those stories to each other, to think out loud, where the respect is there, where instead of somebody saying, well, that's a really crazy idea you've got there, to saying, tell me more about why you think about this and why that seems to resonate within your story. We're linked together more strongly than we might think as we slow that pace down and become more intentional about how we want to be, not just during a discussion about and kind of a to-do in the church, that we can do that all the time, that caring that everybody has in their hearts starts to come out in the sanctuary